So couscous is this tiny little circular, almost pastas, and they're like these little tiny balls, like rugged balls. And there's different ways to cook them, but it's actually made from coarse semolina flour, so it's actually not that hard to make it yourself. And I realized there's about 4 different ways to cook couscous. There's the really lazy way, which is basically just putting it, in some boiling water, mixing it around, and that's most people, they do that. But what happens is a lot of starch is released and it gets kind of like sticky, and the whole process of making couscous is making it really fluffy. So the really traditional way is they make it by hand, and once they have the couscous, they actually steam it over a pot of like amazingly fragrant liquid, and they might do like a stock with different aromatics in there, and they steam it for an hour, and they take it off, and they fluff it, and they steam it again, and they add butter, and it's like this 2-hour process to make it. Now I found a way that is actually much more simple, but still really delicious and kind of gets you that fluffiness. What you want to do is measure out equal parts couscous to boiling water. And you can add a little bit of salt and a little bit of oil if you want to the couscous, kind of mix that together, and then pour your boiling water over it, and then cover that. You kind of mix it together and cover it for 10 minutes exactly. When that's done, lift it up and then just put it into a bowl and kind of fluff it. And all you're doing is you're just sort of fluffing it and like making it really fluffy. You don't want to press it too much, but kind of fluff with your hands and a fork. If you want, you can add in some butter or ghee or something. I threw a little bit in there, and it's going to be really fluffy and really delicious. If you want to make it by hand too, all you need is coarse semolina flour, and you actually just mix this with some water very lightly, and it starts to form these little balls of couscous. It's actually really simple, but then it takes a while because you're starting to steam it and everything. So you can give that a try if you want, but I want to give you guys more of a hack, more of a simplified way. But couscous is amazing. Like I said, it's made from flour, really light, and it goes so well with the tagine. When I ate with the lamb, it's like, it's hard to explain how good it is. Let's talk about our veggie tagine. Woo! For the veggie tagine, sometimes you'll see this like a 7 veggie with like lamb, so you could do a mixture of meat. So use whatever veggies you have, but a lot of times you'll see things like sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, green beans, I have some chickpeas, of course onions, tomato, garlic is very popular, cauliflower, red pepper. So what I ended up doing was I wanted to make 2 tagines. I wanted to do a chicken one that was going to be hacked and the veggie one. So I made a marinade for both of them. So I made this big marinade of the charmoula, which is basically the same thing I did for the lamb. The only difference was that I added some sea salt and lemon zest. And the reason I did that was because usually preserved lemon is a big ingredient in Morocco, and I could not find it, and it's really used in a lot of tagines. So it's kind of like a hacked way. So it'll save you some money, but if you have preserved lemon, you can mix the pulp into that marinade and also cook with the rind of the lemon. So once I had my charmoula made for this, I got my tagine nice and hot, and I sauteed some onions in olive oil. Once they kind of got nice and sweated down, then I added in some tomatoes that were canned, like diced canned, or you could use grated. Once I cooked that down for a few more minutes, throw in your charmoula, and just like you'll see the colors change and the smell is gonna be amazing. Just kind of hit you and like, oh, here we go, have a party. Cook that for a bit, toss in some chickpeas, and then I just started building this amazing volcanic mound of delicious veggies. So I put the cauliflower down, and then I took veggies one by one and kind of went around and built like this little moat fort. It just looks really cool. Green beans were last, topped with some green beans. And at that point, all you want to do is just pour over the rest of your marinade, kind of spoon that over. Make sure it comes to a boil, and then just put the top on, and you're just going to simmer that for a long time. So while that's cooking, it might cook for about 45 minutes on like a medium low to low. You're going to see a lot of liquid, and you can use that liquid just to baste this. And we're gonna serve it probably at the end with a little bit of lemon, but just kind of give it a base every once in a while and kind of pour, make sure all the vegetables are having love and making sweet magic together. Look at that. See how we're looking here? Woo! And you'll know it's pretty much done when the hardest vegetables are tender. So if I take a fork through the potato, oh yeah, that's the good stuff. Now just to cook out a little bit of that liquid, the sauce is gonna be amazing. You can taste it. That is a heck of a broth. So once that's just about done, you take off the lid, and then you can just kind of simmer it for a few more minutes to get out some of the excess liquid. At that point, if you want, you can add olives. Some tagines have olives, or you could do your dried fruit mix. You could do some apricots, whatever you like. And then just serve that with some couscous or some Moroccan bread, which I'm not showing in this video, but you could use pita as a substitute, but they have some really amazing different flatbreads that they serve it with sometimes. Oh my God. Even though all these ingredients, for the most part of things I've tried, when they come together, you have the couscous, it's like anything I've ever had.